So it's a bit of a spine one. Upper back, lower back, mid back. So we're going to start with good old morning routine. So feet to hip socket distance apart and just start to rotate the spine around. Focusing on the lower part of the spine with this one for now. So focus on rotating the belly button part of your body around. Belly button part of your spine. Trying to keep the pelvis still, believe it or not, that's what I'm trying to do. And then bring yourself up to neutral. We're going to side bends, just basic ones where you're keeping the pelvis still. Don't jump ahead and do the other ones. Do these ones first where you're keeping the pelvis still. Directly over to one side, directly over to the other one. And again, focus on that little bit more on the lower spine rather than the head and shoulder. Obviously you're dropping the shoulder down, the hand down. But focus more. I use the analogy of a swaying palm, a swaying tree. It's this part that we want to move a bit more with this one. We've got a lot of mobility in the head and neck, we know that. Focus a bit more on sending the belly button over to the side. And now we will push the opposite pelvis out. Just make sure that the pelvis, everything's in the same plane, so don't push the pelvis. Just notice myself, I was pushing the pelvis forward. It goes directly to the side as you side bend. Just so nothing comes forward at all. Imagine you're encased between double glazed units. You can't move forward or backward, it's just to the side, so push that pelvis out. And now we'll add just to look up to the ceiling as you do that. So three things to focus on: the side bend, push the pelvis out, look up to the ceiling. So we're mobilising the spine in all sorts of different ways. Just brings the fascia into play a little bit more with that head turn. It's a bit of a neural gliding one, neural flossing one now. Bring yourself up. Super. So we're going to do a little bit of the upper, it targets more the upper back, the upper part of the spine, YTWLs. So the arms are straight and they're going to come up and back down again. But keep your arms locked out. So locked out and as close by the ears as much as you can. I'm just going to change this camera angle a minute. So the big one for this is, oh, it's widescreen, okay. That the arms are as straight as possible. So keep the arms locked. Oh, I'm going to use this tip. Keep the arms locked out. Don't bend them at all. You're only lifting them up, trying to get the palms together as close, as much as you can keep your arms straight. Or your arms by your ear. So get the arms back. Super. Lower the arms down. I say lower the arms down. You're going to bring them up to that height now. So we're in T's now. So the palms are facing each other for this one. And you take the arms out to the side. Then you take the hands slightly back and then focus on the in between your shoulder blades. Can you hug and squeeze your shoulder blades into the spine and hold it there for 4, 3, 2, 1 and allow the arms to come forward. So the arms are quite high, about shoulder neck height. And again, take them out to the side, a little bit behind the shoulders and then squeeze like mad, squeeze your shoulder blades towards the spine for 4, 3, 2, 1, and we'll do one more. So you should be feeling it within the shoulder blades now, in between the shoulder blades. Take the hands back, a little bit behind your shoulders, behind the back, and then squeeze. 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower down. And that helps with the old round shoulders, the downstairs hump. All of these do. And now we're going to go into the W's, or the chicken wings. So, from the front it looks like that. Your arms like a W, chicken wing. Drop them down towards your waist, but don't allow the hand to come forward as you do that. It's going to be hard, and I don't care if your lower back arches with this. If you take the hands back and your back arches, that's fine. But that particular muscle that fires up and does that is the one that lifts the spine and rolls the shoulders back. And then from there, if I'm going to do this kneeling, you're going to take the arms up and then reach out, as if you're diving into a swimming pool, and then drop them back down again. As low down as you can, but keep the hands back, and then reach up, as if you're diving into a swimming pool. Do a few more of them. The key for this is keep the hand back and keep the arm back. Don't allow it to creep forward. And you lower it as low as you can. Again, your lower back might very well arch. Muscle called latissimus dorsi. And then reach up, reach up, reach up. Again, this is targeting more of the upper part of the spine and back. Anyone got a buffalo hump, bit of a dowager's hump going on? The YTWLs do that. Make that one the last one. As we go into dumb waiters, that's the L's. So, that position there, The arm stays in contact with the body, the elbow stays in contact with the body. Now do this palms up first and then take the arms out to the side. Just hold it there for the count of 4, 3, 2, 1 and bring it back. And again, take it out to the side, palms up. Hold it there for 4, 3, I say hold it in, you're trying to get it back, 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 a bit more, a bit more, a bit more. And bring it back. Now I'm going to change the hand position, you can see, so the palms are facing each other. And see how it gets you in the lower back, in the shoulders and in the arms. And do the same movements, but keep the arm in contact with your body. That should feel different. And again, is there a tendency for your lower back to arch or for your back to arch? That's fine. The muscle just doing its job. And we'll do one more. So, and lower down. So that's the upper part of the upper back, the upper part of the spine. Let's work the other part of the spine lower down. This is good for piriformis, sacroiliac, lower back, tight lower back, and standing knee falls. So if balance is going to be an issue, do it near a wall. So from the front, you're just lifting one knee up, bring it into your chest. Lift it up, bring it into your chest. For these ones, I'm not going to be too pedantic. Are you bringing the knee as tight into the chest as you can? If you've had hip replacement, you're only bringing it up to about parallel. Get the thoracolumbar fascia a little bit now, but try not to now go forward. So from the side, try and keep the head up, keep the chest up. And now can we start bringing in, flex that foot right the way back. Flex the foot right the way back. And lower down. Again, balance is an issue. I'll show you this from the side. With the foot flexed, now this is done slowly, it's not done dynamically. Flex the foot back and lift it up high up as you can. Nice and slow, lower it down and alternate. Now, I'm not interested in balance. So if you want to hold on to something, hold on to something. And for these, for what I'm after, it's very much a neural gliding one, this. Just lift the leg. Keep the leg as straight as you can. Foot flex back and don't do it too dynamically. Foot flex back. I'm going to hold the wall, lost my balance there. And this is, again, it's called neural gliding, neural flossing. Very good to treat and prevent sciatica. Super, and lower the legs down. Raise the right arm in the air. Side bend to the left, push the pelvis out and look up to the ceiling as you do so. And really reach, now just hold it there and reach that top arm away. Feel the pull, feel the stretch. Just make sure you're encased in that double glazed unit, you're not going forward or back. And bring yourself up, swap arms over. Reach the arm up, side bend to the right, push the left pelvis out and look up to the ceiling and reach that arm away. And just do one more each side. And the next move we're going to come on to is hip hikes. So once you've done that, grab a block. Hip hikes is great for if you've got scoliosis and tight lower back in general. The bigger the block, the better. Good one to do on the stairs. And again, balance. If balance is an issue, hold on to something. I'm just going to hold on to a wall because for some reason I always lose my balance. But I'm just going to start off with the left foot. Left foot on. Lock the leg out, straighten the leg. And then you're going to hitch the hip up and lower it down. Hitch it up, lower it. It's dynamic. Hitch it up, lower it down. As high up as you can and try and lower the heel to touch the ground. Don't just point the toes, that's called cheating. The higher up the better, up to a point. And you're trying to drop it down, drop it down, drop it down. Don't worry if it will, don't drop it down at the expense of the supporting leg. Bending, keep that straight. So dynamic, as soon as it's up, it's down again. As soon as it's up, it's down again. Bit of mobility. And then swap over. See, there's a difference. So now the right foot is on the block, the other one isn't. Straighten the right leg and then again, oh yeah. Lift up and settle down. Keeping the supporting leg has got to be straight. Supporting leg got to be straight. So there's a world of difference. This side's compared to the other side, this side's easy. and come off the block. Let's take it down to the floor. You will want your block. I'm going to use a bigger block. I'm going to put it underneath the bum, underneath the pelvis, and just lie down on our backs. Let me just alter that camera angle. So just altering my camera angle, that's all, so you can see. So I'm going to go for a bigger one. Let's just open up the hips, the hip flexors. Now it's also putting the spine in extension. So just like that, just put the arms by the side for now. Legs are about shoulder width apart. So this just opens up the hip, puts the spine in extension. Very good one, this, for loosening off the lower back by virtue of opening up the hip flexors, which can pull on the lower back. Now just put the arms over the head, and can you rest them on the floor? And then just start to slowly roll the feet in and roll the feet out. Now flex the feet back as you do that. Keep the feet flexed back as you roll them in and roll them out. Now it might fit. If you've got no issues in your body, you're probably lying there thinking, what the hell is this doing? I have, and I can feel it. You'll feel it in particular on the centre of my lower back. But you'll feel it where you feel it, depends on where your issues are. Super, and all we're going to go into now is what we did standing up, just lying down, leg slide. So you're going to slide the leg in, hug it in, now hug it underneath the thigh for what we're going to do in a minute. So underneath there, and again, if you've got hip replacement, just take it to about there. Otherwise, use your bicep muscles, elbows nice and wide, and really pull that into your chest. Keeping the other leg straight, and just keep on alternating. Let's alternate once. So you're trying to keep the leg on the floor as straight, the straight leg straight, the bent leg as much into your chest as you can. As much as your thighs, your belly, your boobs, and your flexibility will allow. Now start flexing that foot back of the leg you're bringing in. So if you're not sure, just watch in. Foot's flexed right the way back, the knees right into the chest. And just keep on alternating. So again, lower back, piriformis, sciatic type issues, sacroiliac, and now we're going to turn it into a neural glide muscle. So just watch here. Now listen in, you slide it in, the foot is flexed back, you bring it into your chest. Now no matter where your thigh is, it stays there as you slowly extend the leg. Hold it for about a count of 4. Bring it in and lower down. Then I'll bring the other one. So the foot is flexed back, you bring it in as tight into the chest, you don't let that thigh move, as with the foot flexed back you slowly open up, but not at the expense of the thigh move. Hold it at its extent for about 4, and keep on swapping and changing over. So this is, again, this targets now the nerves, used to be called the nerve stretch, they call it neural floss and neural gliding. Used to treat and prevent specifically sciatica, but can issues higher up the spine as well. Just notice, is there a difference? Assume you're keeping good form. How open can you get that leg? It's sort of like a happy baby for those familiar with happy baby. It's like a one-legged happy baby. Super. Lower down. Remove the block. And now just keep the head down, keep the shoulders down, just hug both knees into the chest. Now I'm going to just join my hands because I find I can get my thighs, elbows wide, and bring my thighs right in nice and tight. And I can really feel a really good stretch on an area of the lower back called the thoracolumbar fascia. Now that being tight, if this is tight, it can have an effect on hips and on shoulder mobility. It's all those weird things. So can you try and lift your bum off the floor? Can you tilt your pelvis back? Pull the knees and the thighs in. Now, we'll add a little bit more bang for our buck. Can you flex those feet back? Can you now bring yourself into a chest raised position? Keeping the thighs where they are and your feet flexed back. Can you slowly open up those legs, open up the knee? Ooh. And just hold it. Find your extent where your thighs aren't moving, you're not lowering your head down, and then hold that. Flex the feet right back, keep the thighs pulled into the chest. Can you tilt your pelvis back more? Can you lift up more? Can you extend the legs a little bit more? Oh, shaking. And then lower yourself down. Do whatever your body wants you to do. Super. Marvelous. So we're going to go into some hip rolls now, and we're going to alter them. We are going to do the 6 different foot positions. So I'm just going to do something on my camera. So try and do that. Some of you, because of the shape of your spine, you might need a block under your head. Most of you won't. There's probably only 1 or 2. Try this without the block if you can, unless you know you need to have the block. Arms, put them over your head, somewhere over here. Don't overthink that bit, not for today. Just put them over your head. Your feet, the first position, feet are close together and close to your bum. Now we're going to do the head turn. I don't always do the head turn. I'm going to add the head turn in. So I'm going to take my pelvis and knees to the left. I'm going to turn my head to the right. Now just hold it there. Don't have the head turn as just a little, you're trying to rotate as far around as you can. And just hold it there. Now focus on your abdominals, bring your legs and pelvis back up, head into neutral. Now take it over to the other side. Don't neglect the head turn, just turn it a little bit. Can you rotate it right the way around? That works on fascia, but it's also targeting that upper spine. Again, if you suffer from a Dowger's hump, the old buffalo hump, bring yourself, and you're just kicking on, alternate now, a little bit quicker, but don't neglect the head turn. As far around with the head and neck as you can. And now, we're going to change the foot. That's position 1. So you're listening in now, because I'm going to ask you which one did you feel worked better for you. Feet close to your bum, now about mat width apart. Same again, away you go. I'll target you slightly differently in the spine, slightly differently in the pelvis and knees. And again, if you've got certain issues, you'll notice it more. So which position, we're going to do 4 more, works best for you. Don't forget the head turn as far around. Don't neglect the head turn as far around as you can. Pain free. Now bring yourself up. Now we'll go for far away. Feet close together, but far away from your bum. But your feet want to be flat on the ground. Don't have them too far away. And away you go. Don't neglect the head turn as well. So that will get you in a slightly different way. Now if you really want to work a little bit harder, really reach those arms away, but keep the shoulders down. Try not to arch your back as you do that though. The reach of the arms, you should get more of a pull, which is what we're after. And then, up to the start position, just put your feet mat width apart, but far away from your bum, same again. How's that grab you? Which one so far is working best for you, for your body, for any issues you might have? Reach the arms away. Turn the head as far around as you can. Find it a little bit more difficult to do that now in this position for me. More one side than the other. So how does it feel to you as you go to the left, as you go to the right? Both with the pelvis and knees and your head. Bring yourself up to the start position. Now we'll go to somewhere in between. It's usually done as a basic. Not too far away from your bum, not too close, somewhere in between, but feet close together. And away you go. Arms over your head. Turn the head and neck. How does that feel? And again, it's good one this for scoliosis, just finding imbalances in the body, to be honest with you. Works on the whole spine, especially with the head turn. Okay, last position now. Just widen the feet, so they're about mat distance apart. And away you go. So again, you'll all have different issues, different tightnesses of muscles, different lengths of muscles. So for me, I'm particularly feeling this in the upper back part of the spine. Super, then just bring yourself to the start position. I'm going to use the phrase today, which one, out of those 6 different foot leg positions, which one do you feel was doing your body the most good today? Just adopt that one, and we're just going to work to both sides on whatever that one is. For me today, it's actually changed further away from me. So just carry on doing it dynamically. But then start to note, is it more one side? Is it the other? Now it can be a little bit confusing. And all I mean by that is, I turn the head one way, it's more problematic. So if I turn my head to the left, but I do my knees to the left, that feels, we'll reach the arms away. So just start to identify. Your head turn. What's more problematic from your head turn? Is it as you turn to the left, or is it as you turn to the right? And then focus on the pelvis and maybe the lower back and knees. Is it more problematic for you as you rotate to the left or as you rotate to the right? What I'm getting at, as a basic, what we tend to do, what we teach in this is, as you send the pelvis to the left, you turn the head to the right, but that might not be for you. And then just work to your more problematic side. So for me it's to the left, and it's the head to the left as well for me. But what I would advise, the opposite arm, reach it away. So if you're rotating over to the left, regardless of what your neck is doing, your head's doing, reach your right arm away. If you're rotating to the right, reach the left arm away as you rotate. You should feel that pull on the fascia. It's great for trying to get a balance in the tissues, not just the muscles and spine, but in the tissues there as well, the fascia. And then bring yourselves up. Super. Sit up. And we'll do from the hip. So, legs as straight as you can, feet are flexed back. If you actively suffer from sciatica now, at this present moment, sit on a block. If you don't worry about it. Legs as straight as you can, feet flexed back. Breathe in. As you breathe out, keep the hands in contact with the floor. It does make a difference. Keep them in contact with the floor. Only reach them as far forward as you can keep them in contact with the floor. Don't start lifting them to sink further down. And you're trying to slide your hands towards your heels, keeping them flat on the floor. And you're trying to get your heart and your head to touch your thighs. And then bring it back up again. And away you go. Just carry on doing them from the hip. Keep the feet flexed back. Pull the toes back. Reach the heels away. Squeeze your quad. Squeeze your thigh. Keep the hands in contact. Super, that's enough of that. All we're going to do is take one leg out of that. I'll show you this from the front. We're going to go to a half butterfly. So the legs are directly in front, what you've just done. But then let's do the left leg first. Just put the sole of the foot in towards the thigh. Now, if you've got a hip or a knee issue, and if you're tight, then sit on the block. And you'll find the knee, so this knee is my worst, more problem. I'm not exaggerating, it's up in there. You sit on that, it allows for more external rotation, and it sinks down more. Now we're going to go forward now over that lead leg. Now we're going to do this for time rather than... Oh, no, I'm not. I'm using the phone. So, leg as straight as you can, foot flex back, breathe in. The hands at either side of the right leg as you breathe out. Same again, try and keep the hands down. And then come back up again. Let's do 5 more. As soon as you're out, you're back up again. Now this is working sacroiliac in particular. Yes, it'll still get your lower back, still get quadratus lumborum, erector spinal group, thoracolumbar fascia. It's more to target sacroiliac. I wasn't counting, I've lost count now, but as soon as you've done your 5 or 6, swap over legs. Put both legs out in front, I'm going to do the right one now, and see if there's a difference. Try and put the right foot exactly where the left one was, allow that knee to drop down, both hands over or either side of that left leg. Breathe out as you flex forward, and tighter than you was, but keep the foot flexed back. You're getting something extra. If you're keeping the foot flexed back, you're bringing that neural gliding, neural flossing into play. free, but not discomfort free. Once you've done your 5 or 6, because I wasn't counting, I lost count. Let's lose and count to 5. Super. Now what we're going to do, I'm going to come off there. We're going to go back to from the hip, but we're going to do it slightly differently, only slightly. Legs are straight, feet are flexed back, hands by the hips. This is what you're going to do. Just watch first. You're going to breathe out. As you said, keep your hands in contact, flex the feet back. There. Don't worry about your breath now. Hold it. You're trying to reach. Then slowly lift the head up. Slowly rotate it to the left. Keep the head up. Slowly rotate it to the right. And then drop it back down again and restack the spine. I'll talk you through another one. You join in. So if you know what you're up to, that's fine. Legs are straight, feet are flexed back. Breathe out as you slide the hands forward, exactly what we did before, get the head down. Then slowly lift the head up. Keeping the hands where they are, your feet where you are. Rotate the head one way. Keep the head up, rotate it to the other way. Bring it back. Lower down. Come back up. There's a but to this. Listen, when you rotate your head to the left or right, does it feel materially different? It does for me. Again, if you've got no issues, you won't feel it. So it's weird. For me, as I rotate my head to the right, my left bum cheek, I move my pelvis moves, my lower back moves. So just listening to everything. It's not where you think necessarily. Yeah. I find it weird. My pelvis, as I rotate my head to the right, as I rotate to the left, it's fine. As I rotate to the right, my pelvis basically goes ba-dum, ba-dum. So start listening. Listen to your bum cheek. So in the start position, listen to the weight of the bum cheeks. The firmer the floor, the better. So you want to be evenly weighted on your sit bones. Slide forward, stay evenly weighted. Lift the head up. Now as you rotate, just listen. Does your sit bones do anything differently? Brilliant. Make that the last one. But we are going to do something similar. That's just a warm-up. We're now going to do a different type of half butterfly. Both legs are out in front. You just got to bring one in. If you want to keep it tame, just bend it a little bit. So I'll show you from the side. Just bend it a little bit. Sit upright as you can. Leg is straight, foot flexed back. Both hands over the leg. Doesn't matter what leg you do. We've only got 2 legs. I'm going to bend the right one in first. So from the front again, it's there. Breathe in. As you breathe out, slide forward. And then breathe back in again. Do 5 or 6. Now, the tamer version is having the foot just slightly bent, just out there a little bit. That's the tamer. And the reason for that is it works, again, mainly targeting sacroiliac. One pelvis is rolled forward, the other one is rolled back. Now, to roll back more, if you bring your foot in, the more you bring that foot there, it's more challenging. Because there's more, you're putting in a nice stress on your sacroiliac. The closer you have that heel to your bum, this pelvis here is tilted back more compared to the other one. So that's as far as I can go there. That's fine. It's not about getting to your heels. Get out of the habit of thinking it's about getting to your heels. It's not. It's about challenging your body. 5 or 6 on one leg, 5 or 6 on the other one, and see if there's a difference. There's a world of difference for me personally. Have you identified the tighter side? Now in particular, the lower back, quite low lower back, sacroiliac region. If you've noticed the tighter side, a more restrictive side, just go to that more tighter side. Now in this position, it's slightly less about the hamstrings now. It's more about lower back. So work to your more problem. And again, there's another good one for scoliosis as well, if the tightness has come from lower back sacroiliac. As some of them do, some of them are higher up the spine, some of them are mid-spine, some of them are lower spine. If you've got a scoliosis lower spine, this will help if you're working on the tighter side. So try and identify the tighter side. Right, okay. Come out to that one. Once you've done some on your side, we're going to go to side lying now. Side lying kicking, but there's different positions. You can be in that position. That's the best for what I'm after today. That's the better one to do. I'm not interested in it from a shoulder point of view, although you will get shoulder strength in that. It's more about what's happening to the lumbar spine. You open it up, the lumbar spine, you put it like a wedge the other way, which is what we're after. So the higher up there, the better. Flex the foot back. Yes, you can get that if that is causing you pain. If it's causing you discomfort, woman up. Only if it's causing you pain, then go to a lower one. But anyway, whatever position you're in, ideally on your forearm, push the floor away. Lift the foot up, only level with your hip, flex the foot back. You're slowly going to take it forward and bring it back. Don't kick back, not interested in going back. Send it forward. And away you go. 10. Don't overthink it. The Joseph Pilates, don't overthink it. You're on your elbow and forearm, yeah. You're pushing the floor away, yeah. Is your foot staying locked out and foot flexed back? That's what we're after. Again, this is a neural gliding one, a neural flossing one. You're moving all the, it used to be called neural stretching, you're moving all the tissues around the nerves and you're freeing the nerves up, because the nerves can get tethered, or more correctly, the fascia and tissues around the nerve can get tethered and stuck down. That's the aim of this. You're almost like freeing it up, flossing. 10 on one side, 10 on the other. The most important part for this is the leg stays as straight as you can and as flexed back as you can as you move it forward and back. Ten at the right, 10 at the left. I'll give you one more rub. Once you've done that, just so I know you've finished, we're not going to just go into a sphinx position. Just those that have finished, if you're still working, that's fine. Just go into a sphinx position. Not too sure, just don't overthink it, you're just going to be in that position there. Super. Just wait for everyone to finish. Great. Everything's pain-free, we've all got different levels. So if that's been too much for you on your lower back, then go lower down. But there does want to be discomfort there. Not pain, just discomfort. So you've got to push the envelope. It is hard to do, but just push the envelope so there is a little bit of discomfort there. You might not, it's not always about going higher up. Consider, just bring your legs closer together and see how that affects you. It should feel a little bit away. Not too sure about that. Brilliant. Right, we're going to go into the cock swan now. That's what Tanya's told me I've got to call it. So, not sure, I'll talk you through. Legs are wider than the mat as a basic. Feet are in turnout. Arms in a W position like we're going to do the swan. Anchor the pubic bone down. Breathe in. As you breathe out, just lift the head up, use your bum, use your arms, just push it. We're just doing a normal swan prep first. All I ask you to do is just keep the pubic bone, your pelvis in contact with the mat, and then lower back down in it. And away you go. Now sometimes when we do this, we focus on the arms more. Sometimes we focus. I don't care how you get your spine up there, provided you send it up there with control, squeeze your bum more, use your arms. I'm interested in getting the spine into extension. You want to use more your arms, use more your arms. But are you anchoring your pubic bone down? Super, that's fine. Okay, so now all we're going to do is add the cock into it. So I'm just going to, because my left side's to the camera, I'm just going to slightly cock just my left leg. So we're not too sure, if we're standing up, the leg is just cocked a little bit out to the side like that. Right, and now let's just do 5. Away you go. Now you're trying to keep the pelvis, the other leg stays normal. You're trying to keep the pelvis as flat as you can. Now if you're tight on this side, it won't be flat. This is my tighter side and I can't really, it's hard to push my left pelvis down. And you're just going to come up nice and slow and with control, because it will feel a little bit, oh, that's a bit different. And again, a great one for sciatica, in particular for sciatica. Just great for the lower back and the spine. left leg and then cock the other, then lower down and then cock just the right leg. So you're only cocking one leg. Just to balance out, so I'm going to do the other side a little bit. So this opens up the iliacus, opens up the hip flexors on the side a bit more. So you don't only go up to your, I say to your level, you just pain-free, but discomfort-free, but discomfort. And you still want your pubic on your pelvis in the gap. As soon as you do 5 on the right, 5 with the left, or 5 with the left, 5 with the right, just take yourself into whatever works for you for stretching off that lower back. So whatever that might be, child pose, cat-cow, 3 in 1. And then what we're going to go into in a minute is, in yin yoga, I sometimes do this, well, in my own practice, the tadpole frog. So what we're going to do basically is both legs are cocked. Avoid the temptation of cocking both legs too much. So it's still only a slight cock. So, not too short. Get in a normal swan prep position first. Going to cock the left leg slightly, making sure the heel is in line with the knee, and then I'm going to cock the right leg. Oh my God. Now that might be enough for them, just hold it there, that might be enough. But what we are going to do, we're going to breathe in to prepare, anchor the pubic bone down, that intensifies it. Again, that might be enough for you. But if you can take it further, pain-free, on a breath out, just bring the spine into extension, do it slowly and with control, look up. So that's my limit in this position today. And then lower back down again. Again, for some people, just putting both legs slightly cocked will be enough. It's got to be pain-free, you've got to show control, don't just fling anything about. And then, for some people, when both legs are slightly cocked, push the pubic bone down into the ground. That might just be enough. You might just have to stay there. But if you can you slowly and with control bring the spine into extension? And can you feel that on your lower back? Great for just about everyone at tight. There's not many people that aren't tight in the muscle called the iliacus on the inside of the ilium, inside of the pelvis. It's a hip flexor that joins in with the psoas, with the other main hip flexor. And then take yourself down to a child pose to start with, or best version of child pose you can. And then we're going to move into the 3 in 1. So whenever you're ready, you feel able to go to the 3 in 1. So stretch your back off there. Now in the 3 in 1, all I'm going to nag is, when you're in the quadruped, just pause and really pull your belly in before you take it into the swan. Pause, pull your belly in. Just in that quadruped position, pulling your belly in, it's fantastic for a muscle called transverse abdominals, your body's natural corset.
Thanks, Paul. I've got to go now.
Okay, home.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. Bye, Sam.
So if you're particularly feeling it in the lower back, what you can do is when you move into the swan. So normally, as a basic, I normally say, going into the swan, get a bit more bang for your buck, hands further out. Not that it's a bad thing, but it can put more stress on the lower back. So if you're particularly feeling it in the lower back, try and have your hands closer to your waist as you go into that swan. Targets the shoulders a lot more, but it's a bit tamer, a bit nicer on that lower back. Again, there's no right or wrong, there's just difference, depends on what issues you might have going on. For me today, I'm feeling it on that lower back, not in a nice way, so I'm bringing my hands in a bit closer. Super, make that the last one. I'm going to sit up with our legs nice and wide, wide-ish. I'm going to turn this heating off a minute, I'm going to melt. I'm just going to do a little bit. I'm not going to go massively wide with the legs. I don't like that one. Legs are out there, arms across the chest. You're going to rotate over the one leg and flex down. Try and get your forehead onto the knee and bring it back up. Be upright and then rotate. And then over to the other. So it's a variation on the saw. But as you rotate, your back's got to be flat. So come up, rotate, flat back, and then bend forward. You're always rotating with a flat back, a nice tall spine. Super. Make that the last one. Keep your legs where they are. But you might want to go a little bit wider. You see what we're going to do. Hands are in between. You're going to go out to the centre. You walk your hands over to the left foot, but then reach more, far more. Really just focus on the right hand and reach it away as far as you can. Walk it out as far as you can. And then walk both hands into the middle. Can you sink down a little bit more? Then walk both hands to the right, focusing on the left hand now. Really reach that left hand away. Reach, reach, reach as far away as you can. Pause. And just keep on doing that. Back to the middle. Reach as far as you can. Walk them over to the left. Reach the opposite arm away as far away as you possibly can. And just keep on doing that. But have you got more problematic side today? Now, since my fall the other day, my sides have swapped over now to this side. It's normally the other side. This one is massively different. My body's spasmed up, tightened up in response to that injury. It just needs a bit of time to release. So if you've noticed a noticeable difference, and I'm interested in the back, I'm not interested in hamstrings or calves today. I'm interested in what it feels like on your back, on your spine, on your lower back, your upper back, your shoulders, not your legs. Have you got a more problematic side, a tighter side? If you have, just work to that problematic side and back to the centre. Problematic side and back to the centre. Having said that about the legs, if your legs are as straight as you can, your feet are flexed back, you're getting a little bit more out of it because you're targeting everything around the nerve now. And it's not just the nerve in the leg, although you might feel it in the leg, the actual nerve runs right the way up. So you might even feel it from the nerve point of view, you might even feel it in mid-shoulder blades area. But the legs straight, feet flexed back targets almost anything in Pilates where the legs are in that position, is targeting the nerves in a good way. Oh yeah. And come on to that. Let's just go to a Sphinx a minute, just as a counter pose before we go into, we're going to go into spine curls, but for now, just go into a Sphinx position. Whichever height you want to go, provided it's challenging you, so for me that's okay, I'm going to get my legs together and go a little bit higher. But if you're lower, provided it's challenging you. So it's immaterial whether you're high or low. Because if you're particularly tight, down here is going to be problematic for you. So provided you're challenging yourself, for me, go quite high there, legs are close together. Super. Can you slowly bend your knees? Bring them towards your bum. You feel it in the front of your thighs, is your pelvis lifting? You're sinking your head down like I was. Great, we're going into spine curls now. You'll want to block to hand, but you don't just need it just yet. As you roll over onto your back, but what we're going to do first is anterior and posterior pelvic tilt. So I'll just move my arms out the way so you can sort of see. I'm going to breathe in, I'm going to arch my back, my lower back in particular, as much as I possibly can. I'm going to, without pushing in the head. Going to lift it up as high as I can, try and create a big arch there. And then as I breathe out, I'm going to tilt back and push the lower back into the mat. Hold there for a breath out and breathe in. And that's all you're going to do. Big arch, no arch. Big arch, no arch. Away you go. If you don't like working breath, then just work mobility. You can do it, speed it up. I'm not going to dictate. All I'm after is mobility. It's not a massive amount, but it does wonders for the lower back. Super. What we're going to do now is go to butterfly and do exactly the same. All butterflies, from that position there, just bring the soles of the feet together and just let the knees just roll out to the side. And then do the same. Doesn't matter if your knees are in the air. You're trying to get the soles of the feet together and the knees down. And just do a big, again, exactly what you just did. Anterior, posterior pelvic tilt. Now you open up the hips a little bit more now. When we did the cock swan, that sort of area you're targeting. Big arch, no arch. Big arch, no arch. Super, that's enough of that. Let's go on to spine curls, basic ones. Feet to hip socket distance apart, breathe in. As you breathe out, use the abdominals to tilt back, lift your tailbone, then you use your legs and your bum and lift up. As soon as you're up, nice straight line if you can, between your shoulders, your pelvis and your knees, and then lower back down first, then lay your tailbone, but put the big arch there. And just keep on doing that. Two things to focus on in particular today, what I'm after, control the knees. Pelvis goes up parallel to the floor, it goes up level to the floor. As you're going up, it goes up level. As you're going down, it goes up level. Maybe you want to glance at it, maybe you want to put your hands on your pelvis to feel, it's up to you. Now, are you pushing evenly with the feet? So the very first part of this movement is abdominal. But once you've started lifting your tailbone, you'll push with the legs. Make sure it's evenly balanced. In other words, you're not letting the left dominate, you're not letting the right dominate. They're both having an even say at pushing your bum up into the air. Now, if you want to put your feet a bit wide, it'll take the hip flexors out a little bit, but I'm interested in the spinal mobility. So what I'd like you to do now is grab hold of a block, only because it's closer to the camera. I'm going to put the block under the left foot. The biggest thing now is the pelvis goes up parallel, but you don't push more with one foot than the other. You're applying the same amount of weight, the same amount of force. It wants to feel like, that's the key, you're not using the same amount of force. It wants to feel like you're not letting one leg dominate. Does that make sense? So your pelvis, away you go. Let's just go for 5. So as soon as you're up, you back down again and then swap over legs. So you want to be, it wants to feel like you're pushing evenly with the right foot, the left foot. Don't let one leg dominate. And what is technically happening, if it feels like it, is what's really happening is your proprioceptors, your unconscious mind, is actually having to send different signals to different legs. Also works on the lower back unintentionally for this what I'm actually after. It's more of a nerve thing. Now it's only going to work if you're trying, even if you don't succeed, if you're trying to push evenly. The left side of the body working exactly the same as the right. It wants to feel that way. 5 with the right, 5 with the left. Is it harder to control one more than the other? So again, it wants to feel like you're using the same amount of effort, the left leg, the left side as the right side. Even if you haven't done, make that the last one. And then sit yourselves up, something resembling this position, hands nice and wide behind you, fingertips facing the back, roll the shoulders back. Flex the feet back. You're lifting up as high as you can, you're going to lower down, then another one. Away you go, just alternate. Lift it up. You keep the leg as straight as you possibly can and flex the feet back. And alternate. Again, it's a gymnastic drill, also a variation of a Pilates move, which is just basically German gymnastic moves. But it's also a yoga gliding one. Works on a lot of levels, this. Are you rolling your shoulders back? In fact, can you squeeze your shoulder blades together? Regardless of your arms, just try and squeeze your shoulder blades together. Push the floor away, squeeze your shoulder blades together. Just glance at your legs. There's one lifting higher than the other one. You're trying to keep the leg as straight. It doesn't matter if you're not, but are you trying to keep the leg as straight as you can? Feet flex back. Super. Lower down. Come on to that and slowly bring yourself up to standard. And you want your block again. We're doing hip hikes again. I'm going to do both sides, unless you know from doing these at the beginning that you have a massively more challenging side. You're going to do both sides. If you know you've got a massively challenging different side, then just do that problematic side. But left leg on it, I'm going to hold on to the wall because I lose my balance with this one. Keep the leg straight. Hitch it up as high as you can, lower it flat down, lower the heel down. Hitch it up as high as you can, lower it down. 3, 4, 5. Keep the leg straight as you can. 6. For those that like thinking of a lot of things, there's different ways you can do it. One way is you keep the spine perfectly straight. You don't crunch up the side as you hitch that up. Try and keep the head and shoulders. It's good if you can see yourself in the mirror or the camera. And swap over sides. There are different ways of doing it. So the other leg straight. Oh, this is already it's more challenging. Hitch it directly up and lower it down. Directly up. Lower. I can feel this hip wants to pop out more, but again, great one for scoliosis, great one for hip strengthener and for loosening up that lower back. But is there a difference left and right?
Yes.
And then lower down, come off the block. Standing knee lifts down. So what we're going to do is just hug it in. Not overthink once, just hug it in. Try and keep your head upright, that's all I say. Just hug one, left leg, right leg. If there's a noticeable difference, there is for me on this one, just do that more problematic side. If you notice while you're doing other stuff on the floor, which one creates more problems for you? Can you feel any different? Again, great for hip mobility, lower back, sacroiliac. You're really flexing that foot back. And lower down. As we go to side bends, just do a basic side bend. Keep the pelvis still, just drop down to the side. Bring it back up, drop down to the other side. Bring it back up, one more to the left, one more to the right. Bring yourself back up. Raise the right arm in the air, reach it up, side bend, push the pelvis out and reach that top arm away. Bring yourself back up, swap over. So the left arm in the air, side bend to the right, push the left pelvis out and really reach. As you do that, really reach that top arm away. For me, there's a massive difference. I'm just going to stick to my more problematic side because it's very noticeable. But really reach the top arm. Side bend, drop the hand as low as you can, push the pelvis and really reach that arm away. Make sure you're in the same plane, you haven't rolled forward. One more, last one. And bring yourself up, lower down. Don't overthink it, roll down. Keep your legs straight, bend your knees, wherever you want, just not the chin, we're just mobilising the spine, just lower down. You get your head between your knees, roll back up again, just going to do 2 more. Chin to chest, just don't overthink it, just mobilise the spine. Try and get your head between your thighs, between your knees. Last one. Last one, we're finishing on extension. I'm going to use my thumbs to push and use your thumbs, your heels, but you want it above the pelvis, not on your spine, either side of your spine. Push the pelvis forward, put your heart up to the ceiling, bring it back up. Again, I'm going to use my thumbs, you can use your fist, your knuckles. Push in, push it forward, put the spine in extension. Oh. Don't have your thumbs or your fist on your spine, to either side of the spine. And push, that's one. Bring yourself up. Oh. And give yourself a round of applause, well done. Sorry about the late start, people. Well, let me just turn all this off.